Hey guys, I want to say this. Excuse the background because I'm in the middle of sorting out. Hopefully, I've got to sort out as and when. Um, because of obviously my work career at the moment. Because quite honestly, my work career and my family take priority. This ain't me hindering you guys, throwing shade to you guys. You guys are awesome to me too. To the point where 104 of you have hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, and I can't thank you. And obviously, you'll be notified anytime when I do any videos on this very platform. I can't thank you enough. I want to say this, right, before I say any more, right? I've already done a video 8 weeks on this sort of topic about the New Day coming in to AEW and the way it's coming true. I feel like AEW are watching my videos because I know Will Ospreay watches it. Swerve Strickland's literally watched when I was talking about him 8 weeks ago about when the New Day and all that lot. He should start a faction with him. It's coming true. It looks coming true, which is good. But there's one thing, right, I want to say that AEW does get wrong for many a weeks now, to the point where I completely forgot they ever existed. I only discovered when I watched Grand Slam Mexico they still exist. I thought they were discontinued from the company, and that's the Trios Championship. Now, to me, when I look at this, right? Sorry about the way the lighting keeps going. I think it's because of interference and so on. That when I look at the bigger picture of things, right? I know it's hard to keep up with everyone they've got on the roster. This is one thing that AEW tend to do, right? This is not me hindering or throwing shades to AEW. You know how much I'm loving AEW, how much I invest my time and effort watching AEW is this. It starts to piss me off when I thought it was a dying art in the company. Because if you're not gonna show light towards these, but now you're finally starting to show light towards them since Grand Slam Mexico. What I mean is the Trios Championship. The Trios Championship is three wrestlers having three wrestling belts. It's a hard division to keep up with. It really is. When I literally think this as a wrestling fan, right? Many companies can handle it, but I think with the extensive roster that AEW has, they haven't in recent times since those belts came into power. Yes, we literally had Hurt Syndicate. Then all of a sudden it seemed like it phased away. Then we had the Ops. Then we've actually had, because you've got to fit these in on the show, let alone you focused on the tag team division, the women's division, this mid card division, if you want to class it as these. The heavyweight championship. But you throw it away when you have a golden opportunity, when you've got all these three-person factions, but you hardly use them, which is kind of sucks in the first place. But then you actually have the likes of Bandito, Brody Lee, Hangman Adam Page recently, which is fantastic. You've got the likes of Ricochet, you've got the likes of his tag team, I forget who they are. Sorry, guys. To elevate them to the next level. Now you got Swerve Strickland teasing towards the New Day coming in. As I call them as the next day. If you watch my TikTok videos, when I've done videos of talking about it. And I feel like trios wrestling has been a dying art form in many years of professional wrestling. Not just AEW. It's just you don't see it often utilized as the way you expect it to be utilized. And now when it's coming to the crunch towards All In, the way they're doing this Trios Championship has been very interesting indeed. We could end up with a fatal a Trios match at All In. We could end up with that, or we could actually have just a normal 6-man tag match for the Trios Championship. There's endless possibilities now, and I feel like when people wanted the Young Bucks versus the New Day, I've said deep down inside my wrestling fandom, I don't want someone like that rushed at all. I want you to build up a good storyline, not just because we're not going to get that at Wembley by the looks of it. We're going to get, which we have actually got signed in place. But I feel like we were honoured last year when we got Cope and Christian reformed as a tag team at Forbidden Door. Now it's come full circle for them. Now they're facing the Young Bucks. But the best thing about it is, over the past couple of weeks, they have been bigging up the New Day subliminally. What I'm saying to you guys is, when I see tag team wrestling in AEW or any wrestling has been focused upon just the tag teams, what is one thing. But you are building up a first time since these belts have came in, a decent faction, which looks like it's going to be like I talked about this 8 weeks ago. That Swerve's house is getting new tenants. Remember that video? If you don't go back 8 weeks or 9 weeks ago now, I says it'd be ideal to bring them in that way. And that's the video Swerve Strickland watched. And you're welcome, Swerve. You're welcome. You're a good mate. It was good catching up with you switching disco last year. I'm hoping all the best, alright? But the problem where it lies is more backlash from WWE fanbase. AEW dudes take a lot of criticism from WWE fanbase. Now, you was kind of upset that the New Day went and said it's a big loss for your company, fair enough. But you won't follow them if they go to AEW. It will phase out the same way you did with Killian Cross. You didn't follow them to watch them on MLW. They just want, WWE want them to be all and end all because they've been in the company for a while, and you're entitled to follow them, don't get me wrong. This is not me hindering them. This ain't hindering me towards your fandom. This is just me being honest with you. That I would say AEW does have an extensive roster. It wouldn't surprise me if they had a third show, which technically they do. They have Ring of Honor. But I look at, when I'm talking sense here, believe it or not, that to the people that are watching this at home, right? It's about time the Trios Championship got utilised properly. And I feel like if you are going to build up towards the New Day versus Young Bucks, don't throw it out there, which they're not going to, I hope. But a lot of people have said this, that with my hand on heart as a Caucasian or white guy, you know, I feel like with AEW they do put a lot of authenticity to showboat what wrestlers of colour can do. You know, same me saying, oh, WWE is a racist. You know, I'm not saying that. But people do. You're entitled to your opinions. But when I look at this, you got like Willow Nightingale getting the spotlight. You've got the likes of Mercedes Moné getting spotlight. You're getting the likes of Ricochet and his tag team. I keep forgetting his stable name. I do apologise. That proves how much Trios Championships means at the moment. Nothing, because I can't remember that name. Then you look at Swerve Strickland being the world champion. That was monumental. First black champion that AEW had. I got his 8x10 sign last year with Prince Onana at Wembley at Swing Chin Disco. But it's great to see wrestlers of colour getting a push towards titles. And Tony Khan's going to lap that up because he's heard what people have been saying about WWE. But it has come to the crunch right now. They are making the Trios Championship worth being there for the fans. Now, you may class me as a WWE hater, but this is not me hating on WWE or TNA or any other company around the world, but that was a dying art form. Like I mentioned about the trios wrestlers. Like WWE has a dying art form towards the tag team division. You may hype it up all you want, but it's not much of a division this day in 2026. But I find this very interesting. To say nothing but the least. The Trios Championship is finally getting its dues. And making it worthwhile to watch the progression of this. Because I do respect any wrestler that works for any company. It's just certain companies I don't respect anymore. I lost respect. With my heart on my sleeve. And that was hard for me to fade away from. Because that's what got me into YouTube. That's what got me into professional wrestling properly. When AEW does it right, they do it right. Like I've done a video on this already. But when they do it wrong, I'll be honest with you, they've done the Trios Championship wrong since it's existed. Because you got the likes of, obviously, Hurt Syndicate. Where are they? I'm hoping they come out and challenge them after, hypothetically, if Swerve Strickland and the New Day or next day, whatever they're going to go under, challenge them on Dynamite at All Out. That was such a monumental moment in wrestling history. In recent times, that is. Seeing wrestlers of colour being utilised. You know, it's great to... From an outsider looking in, that grew up through the 80s when racism run rife in the United Kingdom, to the point where I'll admit I had friends of colour, right, and the shit they had to deal with, the perseverance, the grit, the hard-hitting shit they've actually had, to the point where they were sprayed on the wall because of his skin colour. Now, these guys breaking grounds AEW have, right? They have broken so many grounds in recent years to make people feel comfortable around certain things. Yes, there's racism still running rife in America. I get that. But you got the likes of when the Acclaim was together, they literally spoke about Anthony Borden. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Bowen or whatever. He was openly black and gay. And that's what I like about AEW, right? In the 80s, you wouldn't get away with that shit. It just proves some places, some states, or some places, wherever you take your wrestling show, you can openly be over enthusiastic to highlight that and be comfortable doing that. But in the 80s, you couldn't. You had to hide that shit away because you're scared if you wouldn't get promoted to being that top dog. Look what Pat Patterson had to deal with. Yes, I know he's a white guy, but still. These guys face so much controversy over the years. And they persevered with it in their personal life. And to get their name chanted, imagine how that feels. But like, I know I'm going a bit off course, but I'm being honest with you. You think when they sell a t-shirt with all the stuff they've been through, and it's proud to see that people wearing their shirts, right? But do you think the New Day would have lasted long in WWE if it was a bunch of white guys doing it? That makes you think, don't it? Because I'm not being funny to anyone that's watching this, I don't think it would have. Because it started off gospel, then turning up kind of gay. Not stereotypically gay, but it was some gay shit. They were brave enough to pull that off. Now they're off to their next chapter, their next adventure with AEW by looks of things. Like I predicted that was going to happen. But I want a decent storyline for them to face the Young Bucks. I don't want that, like I've mentioned numerous times in this video. I want them a decent storyline to have to face the Young Bucks. I don't care if it takes a fucking year. You know, we had that with FTR and the Young Bucks. We took a long build. I don't want that thrown out there like after All Out for All In. I mean, after All In for All Out, sorry. But all I can say is this. Finally, AEW's getting some use out of that Trios Championship. Make it worthwhile, guys. It's 2026. You go for those championships. But anyway, that's my thoughts and opinions, guys. Tell me yours. I do apologise about the poor lighting because obviously, if you didn't know, Junior's kind of went on my old desk. Kind of fucking broke my old TV. I've got another TV. Not the one behind me. No, yeah, not that one off. I mean the one I was using as my PC monitor. So that's why it's been a bit delayed on doing videos on my PC. Plus the heat wave didn't help. But that's just my thoughts and opinions. Tell me your thoughts down below. Until next time, guys. Catch you guys soon.